Yo, good everybody. Hope everybody is enjoying the holidays like I am. You already know what it is. It's that time of year again. It's time to rank the top 10, if you will, of 2024. There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes. Not gonna go into what was the worst movies of this year, and best believe it's a lot. But I'm gonna start with the best. Now we all know that we all are entitled to our own opinion, right? It's funny because I was watching Chris Stuckman and Jeremy JAHNS, and for those of you who don't know, they're really big, YouTube movie reviewers, and I found myself getting upset, at the list just because. I mean, Jeremy JAHNS and Chris Stuckman both had movies like Wild Robot, Inside Out 2, 100 Beavers, over Doom Part 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, The Substance? Right, okay. You could tell the type of person that you're dealing with based off what they're like, what their interest is, and that's what makes them who they are, right? I say my list like, he put Doom Part 2 over Inside Out 2? You're crazy! No, you're crazy. But, look, everybody's entitled to their opinion. So, I'm gonna give you my favorite. I wrote down all the movies that I felt like should make this list, and I'm gonna rank them accordingly, And I'm also going to add in some honorable mentions because some of these movies need to be mentioned, but I don't think they quite should be, maybe they should make the top 15 but we're going to just focus on 10 right now. So with that being said, let's start with number 10. Number 10 is going to be controversial because a lot of people didn't like this movie for some reason. I don't know why, but Argyle. I thought Argyle was good. It was fun. It has some really good messages, heartfelt messages about it. Those of you who haven't seen it yet, basically it's about this writer who writes about this spy and all his adventures. But then you later to find out that certain things that she wrote in this book actually have to deal with her in real life. That's all I'm gonna say for now. I don't want to spoil it too much. I mean, you should have already seen it by now. We're about to head to 2025. But for those who like to watch movies late, like I do, that's pretty much the premise. You already know who it stars in. I got the trailer shown right now. Number 9, Strange Darling. Now, this is a movie that probably not a lot of people knew about. This was an interesting story to me. It was unique. You got this serial killer picking up a girl and they finna hook up scenario, but it turns out actually the girl's the serial killer, and she has like this, I guess you could say her dark passenger for all you Dexter fans out there. That flashes like within on screen, you don't really see it too much. And I kind of like that was a mystery to that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of ambiguous messages, endings, all that, but when done right, and I like how they did that. And it was nicely fast paced. It was a cat and mouse game of, this guy, kind of chasing her around, trying to get his get back. It was interesting. It was a fun film. I fuck with it. You get me? So that is my number 9. My number 8, the wildest movie you could ever seen this year. As wild as it is, I'm glad that they added even more to the story. I'm glad that they made it even more entertaining, more wild. Maybe some of you saw it on Christmas around this time. Shame on you. But
hey man, do you have trouble getting an erection?
Can't what? Can't even get an erection.
What's an erection?
All those nights of masturbating all alone has ruined your love life. Party drugs are too much of a risk because they just might kill your ass. You're tired of Viagra having all these health concerns. Go ahead and try the best aphrodisiac out there in Tab's chocolate. Look man, it's simple, easy to use. All you gotta do is wait 30 minutes after you're done taking it, and you can end up getting your freak on all night long. Ladies, it will definitely have your man as hard as a rock. And best believe, gentlemen, once your woman takes this, she'll definitely have you riding waves. And don't worry, they got full description of the ingredients for all you scaredy cats out there on the website. Tap the link in my description so you can get 20% off your first order, as well as a 3-box deal for 17% off. Remember, don't screw her, love.
Yeah, man. Terrifier 3, it was Terrifier 3 was wild as fuck, bro. And like I said, more story to it. Better acting for sure. I will say this though. Dude who made this film, he needs help on the writing side, because there's a lot of details in this movie that is still a bit confusing. It doesn't make sense. But it ends in a pretty interesting cliffhanger, and they're obviously gonna make a 4th one. So yeah, I'm all for it. Terrifiers is a good series. All of the slashers, Jason, Freddy, Michael, I'd rather have all of them take me out than Terrifier. That Art the Clown tortures you as he's killing you. Anyways, so yeah. Now I'm on number 7. Number 7, I called it late this year. Came out late this year. And Sonic 3. Look, I told y'all in my review for Sonic, I'm a big Sonic fan. Okay? I grew up playing the character, or playing his games. I grew up watching his cartoon shows. Who knew that a fucking hedgehog would be so popular? But yes, nonetheless, I saw Sonic 3. It was the first Sonic movie I saw the whole series. I saw a little bit of the first one, but not really from beginning to end. So this one's the one I watched from beginning to end, probably because they had Shadow in it, and based off the games, you know, Sonic and Shadow go at it, and they translate that well in this movie. Sonic and Shadow went at it. You know what I mean? That was cold, right? So that's number 7 for sure. But it's a cartoon, and cartoons don't rank all that high for me. Hence why number 6 is Smile 2. Smile 2 is a damn good sequel. A damn good one. More intense than the first one. Deals with the same scenario, obviously. But what I really liked about Smile 2 is the simple fact of, and I don't think there's really any horror movie that has ever done this, where the movie is centered around someone who is not a regular everyday person. This is a pop star. This is someone who's famous. So to see her deal with this evil entity haunting her, basically, and mentally torturing her, while at the same time having to deal with the public, have to deal with the media and being famous, it was very interesting to see that. So I keep saying interesting. Take a shot, take a hit every time I say the word interesting. But nah, for real, it was unique to say the least. But it ain't number 5. Number 5 is another controversial one. For some reason, I don't know what is wrong with people. Like, what do you want? It's like you say you want this, and then when you get it, now all of a sudden it's not good enough. Then you want to go back to what you say you didn't like. Trap was great. It was suspenseful. It had me on the edge of my seat. You got where you have this Dexter-like scenario of this serial killer who is trapped in this concert. You got police officers in there rummaging through the crowd, getting people, checking people, see if they're this particular serial killer. And you got where Josh Hartnett is playing the serial killer, and he got to figure out how to escape this concert while having his daughter with him. I mean, it's a great movie, bro. I don't... Maybe the only complaint I could possibly see is how he was able to weasel himself out of certain situations, which, some of it was a bit like far-fetched, but hey man, it's a fucking movie. Like, get over it. So yeah, that's number 5 for sure. M. Night Shyamalan did his thing with that. Number 4. Oh yes, we getting dirty. We getting grimy, literally. Yeah, The Substance, man. It was deep. It was captivating. It was for sure provocative. It was gross. It was horrific. It was also taking a peek on just the glamour of being young. You know, I'm 29. I just turned 29 this year, so I'm still well in my youth. Entering my prime, or I feel like I always been in my prime, but I'm reaching a new height in my prime, and you know, I just like how it glamorizes, you know, youth to further have this message of, you know, how people deal with aging, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, specifically women, because I love how they centered around a woman, especially a woman whose beauty is her way she makes money. Her youth and her beauty was the way she made money. And I just really like how they had a message of that, you know, because, you know how women, you know, they say in science how women, their biological clocks, you know, go out, you know, a certain time period, and they can't have children at a certain time period. And they always say that women, they're in their prime in their 20s, and men in their prime in their 30s and 40s and shit. So, you know, it's just interesting to see a woman go through that, you know, and how they deal with that, and just deeper messages within there that I think women could appreciate. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I found it interesting. So, you know, it's a great movie, man. Great movie. You know, I damn near, I was contemplating on whether or not it should be higher, but I'm gonna be real, man. I'm gonna go ahead and say it for number 3 for sure. As stupid as the story was, in a way, nevertheless, man, we was able to get Hugh Jackman's Wolverine back, teaming up with Deadpool and fighting him. Deadpool and Wolverine, bro, number 3, hands down. Great action, funny as fuck. Not as funny as the second one. No, I would definitely say just as funny, but story not as tightly knit as the second one and the first one. But that wasn't the point. Who cares? Because we got Deadpool, Wolverine. We got a whole bunch of callbacks with fucking Wesley Snipes' Blade, Jennifer Garner's Elektra. We got to see the rumor finally come through fruition, and Channing Tatum's Gambit, who was hilarious in the film. Yeah, man, great movie, fun. Can't wait to see it again. Probably the funniest and best intro of all the Deadpool movies. Bye, 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 bye. I don't wanna be a fool for you. Just another play in the game too. So yeah, number 1, number 2 is hard. The sci-fi fan in me, the action fan in me, the mythical and both methodical stories, Star Wars, Dragon Ball Z, Mortal Kombat. Then you also got being pro-black, me being into the faith, spiritual, me being a Bible reader. Even though I do need to read more of it. Hebrew, it's hard for me to differentiate. To be honest with you, I might switch. But before I give the number 1, number 2, I'm gonna have to go with Doom Part 2. I'm gonna put Doom Part 2, number 2. Doom Part 2 was off the chain. Visually, it was, whoa. I don't know what the fuck they did to make that movie look the way it did. And I'm in film school. I mean, obviously I got some idea, but man, like, I don't know if they use stages. I don't know if they use actual locations, blue screen. Well, I know for sure they use blue screen and green screens. But man, bro, beautiful. The director and the cinematographer, they might as well be like DX, because they definitely partner up and did damage. Doom Part 2 was pretty as fuck. It was beautiful, you hear me? And the story was epic. Completely epic. Timothy Chalamet, look, man, I've been a Timothy Chalamet since The King on Netflix. So, you hear me? Zendaya did her thing. Yeah, Doom Part 2, what can I say? Yeah, like I said, I'm a sucker for sci-fi. But I'm also a sucker for Yeshua. The Book of Clarence is number one. Book Clarence number one. As deep as it could get. A lot of messages when it comes to both biblical messaging centered around biblical times. Social issues to this day. Typical ones that they like to use. But, you know, I would say that they did better in this one just because of the strong biblical tie-ins to it, and just how they had a lot of messaging in ways, you know, showing how people have been deceived in a lot of ways on how they perceive the Bible, and been deceived in how they perceive society. Messaging on just having general faith and belief, family, self-belief, friendship, Yeshua, Jesus Christ, if you will. It was just a really good movie, man. Very smart movie. I love how finally we got a movie centered around biblical times, centered around Jerusalem, and there's actual black people there, not white folk. You hear me? Now, I could go into real detail about that, but I'm going to keep it on the movie side, all right? I'm going to keep it on the movie side for now, but straight up, finally, all right? We came out way early, you know what I'm saying? This was like second week January, so, you know, that right there, you know, it's kind of forgettable. It's been a long year, short year, but long at the same time. It's funny how time works. I'm a man who got the Book of Clarence and Terrifier 3 on the same list. Obviously, some honorable mentions, and I'll just, you know, give them out short. I got Nosferatu in an honorable mention. I ain't gonna lie, Nosferatu I need to rewatch. I was sleepy, you know, watching it, you know, before the movie came on, but I took a coffee and everything. I do feel like the movie's a bit slow paced. I actually do an individual review on it, probably later on today. But, you know, for now, I'll give a little spiel. I do feel like it was a little slow paced. Visually, I thought it was amazing. Again, director and cinematographer, they might as well be like DX, the Brothers of Destruction. They teamed up and did damage. Slow pace, but again, you know, maybe if I got higher energy, maybe I'd watch it at the right time as I should. I'll probably rank it a little higher, but for now, I'll put it in honorable mentions. The Scar is wild as fuck, by the way. Alien Romulus, honorable mention. Cinematography, it was too dark. I couldn't really see, and maybe that was a choice by the director. Like, he wanted it to be mysterious looking and have the aliens and just the overall scenery where you can't really see things. But I don't know, man. I could barely see. It was a bit slow paced. But I'm gonna go ahead and put in honorable mentions though, because it did have a raw ass climax. So Alien Romulus is in there. Blink Twice with Channing Tatum. Zoe Kravitz' first directorial debut. You know, some feminist shit, but it does it in a way that's tasteful. Legs in there. Again, another movie that to me has pacing issues, but is a very dark and very ominous story. And, you know, obviously Nicolas Cage does a really good performance playing some crazy demonic fuck. Beverly Hills Cop. I usually don't like to put, you know, streaming or, you know, releases on these type of lists. I usually don't like to stick to theatrical, but you know, if it's good enough, I'll put it in there. And yeah, Beverly Hills Cop definitely gets honorable mention. You know, I usually don't like sequels where, you know, actor who played the character when he was young comes back, or he or she comes back and plays him while old. It usually doesn't end well, but Beverly Hills Cop definitely did their thing. Bad Boys 4, honorable mention. Again, what I just said, I think they should kill it, but this one was improved. I like this one better than I did the third one. Definitely not as good as 1 and 2, but it gets honored. And yeah, so that's my list. You may hate on it, but that just shows you what kind of person you are. And I don't mean that in a bad way, a negative way, but that shows you what you like and what you don't like, and how you perceive the world, and how you perceive art. But again, as always, you ain't gotta ask about it, and you ain't gotta have the answer to it, because you already know what it is. I'm gonna come at you with the worst of 2024, and there's gonna be a lot of honorable mentions on that. You dig?